scene. Let's get to our top story this morning as the Belvidere School Board votes to close Perry Elementary School, ending more than a century of history in the community. The decision comes as the district faces declining enrollment and cost concerns. Miriam Niesmeyer introduces us to teachers and parents showing frustration at the board's decision.
Perry Elementary School students sang a song as one last plea to save their school.
Look right at them and tell them what you're going to do.
A different tune played out when community members learned the board votes to close the school.
Take care of every single one of them, especially those teachers.
The Belvidere School Board heard dozens of voices at Thursday's meeting about what their small neighborhood community school means to them.
It means family to me.
Once a neighborhood school is gone, it's lost forever.
The board votes to close Perry Elementary School because of the building's age, declining enrollment, safety improvements, facility limitations, and high maintenance cost.
Perry School has a lot of maintenance that needs to be completed and a significant investment that needs to be made for it to truly last the test of time into the future.
Perry Elementary School teacher Wendy Kitson says she understands why the school building needs work. However, she says there are other options.
They don't have to use that complete plan. They could cut things, or they could do this or change some things.
The district has a transition plan put in place. It would allow K-4 families to rank their preferred schools.
We're going to do everything we can to make as many placements as we can that align with where our students want to attend.
As Miriam Niesmeyer reporting, Superintendent Shug says teachers and staff will be able to fill roles in other schools, and the building will close at the end of the school year. We told that families should have additional information by today.